Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to discuss with you about shortest job first scheduling algorithm. So in the previous videos, we have seen the HCFS round robin scheduling algorithms, right? See, in this scheduling algorithm, so the main criteria is burst time, and in the previous scheduling algorithms, the main criteria is arrival time only, right? See, in the shortest job first scheduling algorithm, see, it is also called as a non-preemptive shortest job first scheduling algorithm. So because the process is going to be executed by the CPU completely based on the burst time with the shortest burst time. So here the name itself denotes that the shortest job must be executed first by the CPU. Okay, and the main criteria here is the burst time, so which is having the very less amount of burst time, it is being executed first. So by this advantage, see, it is going to improve the process throughput, and it is mainly used in the batch processing system. Okay, so you can know about the batch processing system in the previous videos. Okay, batch processing means it is going to make a batch of the different jobs, and it is being given to the operating system for execution. So it is one of the earlier operating system that is being used. Okay, so it is mainly used in the batch processing operating system, and it improves the throughput since it is going to execute the particular process with the less amount of burst time. Okay, so now we are going to draw a Gantt chart or the running queue for the running state for the given table. Okay, see, for the first one, see, here also we are going to, for the first one, that is for the arrival time 0, we are going to execute it normally. Okay, so here we are for the first process we are not applying this criteria, that is the burst time. Okay, so the arrival time 0, what is the process that has entered the ready queue? So P4, so that we are going to execute it completely. Okay, for 3 units of time. 3. Okay, since it is a non-preemptive scheduling algorithm, so we are going to completely execute it. Okay, and we are going to select the particular process with the less amount of burst time. Okay, so what is the process with the less amount of burst time here? The P2. Okay, P2 is going to be executed by the CPU. Okay, and we are going to add the burst time here, so that is 5. Okay, so next one, so what are the remaining process with the less amount of burst time? So P2 is completed and P4 is completed. So next one is P5. So P5 is executed by the CPU. Okay, for 4 units of time. And what are the remaining process here? P1 and P3. Okay, so between these two, so P1 is having the less amount of priority. P1 is having the less burst time. So P1, 15. Okay. The last one is P3, which is having the highest execution time. So 8. 15 plus 8 is 23. Okay, so like this we have executed all the process. Okay, and here there is no starvation because the particulars and each and every process executed by the CPU is with the less amount of execution time. So that's why there is no starvation for the remaining process. Okay, and the smaller process will execute first, and then the lengthier process will execute. Okay, after completing all this process. Okay, so next we are going to calculate the completion time, turnaround time, and waiting time for this thing. What is the completion time here? For P1 it is 15, and for the P2 it is 5, and for P3 it is 23, and for P4 it is 3, P5 is 9. Okay, these are the completion time. And turnaround time, so completion time minus arrival time. So 15 minus 2, 13, 0, and 23 minus 1, 22, 3 minus 0, 3, 9 minus 4, 5. Okay, and what is the waiting time here? So waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. So 13 minus 6, 7, 0 minus 2, so this is 2 only. 22 minus 8, so that is 14. 3 minus 3, 0, 5 minus 4, 1. Okay, so now we have to calculate the average turnaround time and average waiting time. Okay, so 2 plus 3, 5, 3, 8, 13, 43 by 5 process, and then 7 plus 2, 9, 10, 24, 24 by 5. Okay, like this we have to calculate the average turnaround time and waiting time for the shortest job for scheduling algorithm. And how we have to calculate the response time? So response time. Okay, so for the response time, the formula is CPU first time minus arrival time. Okay, so that is a CPU first time in the Gantt chart plus minus arrival time, not plus. Okay, so CPU first time in the Gantt chart minus arrival time. So like this we are going to get the values of the response time. Okay, so what is the CPU first time for the P1? 9 minus arrival time. So 9 minus 2, that is 7. And CPU first time for the P2, 3. So 3 minus 5, 2. Okay, and then for the P3, so P3, 15. So 15 minus 1, 14. And then CPU first time for the P4, 0. So 0 minus 0, 0. And then P5, our CPU first time is 5 minus arrival time is 4, so 1. So like this we are going to get the response time values also. Okay, and thanks for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.